Hi there, everybody, and you're very welcome to the latest episode of The Cup of Culture, which has become the lockdown format for our South Tip Arts podcast here at the Arts Centre in Clonmel. Well, as we speak, we are just about at the halfway point of our Connect, Create, Inspire series, which was a series devised to celebrate the importance of creativity to our health and well-being. It's been running for 2 weeks already, and there are still 2 weeks left in the programme. So if you're unaware of what's on offer, you can visit our website at www.souththipartscentre.ie or check us out on any of the social media channels where you will readily find links to all the events, which are free. And thanks to Healthy Ireland, Healthy Tipperary and Tipperary Arts Office for their support in delivering this project, which is part of Healthy Ireland's drive to help us all keep well during these times. And my guest this week is Alan Wells, who is delivering a 10-day meditation challenge as part of Connect, Create and Inspire. The word challenge is being used relatively loosely here. It's a drop-in meditation, and people can attend for just one day if they like. Alan's a visual artist, but his work has also taken him in the direction of the healing arts. He's qualified in many healing modalities and regularly teaches group classes and workshops. I was delighted to catch up with Alan after one of the morning meditation sessions. And if you're interested, you can have a look at our website for the details on how to join in with us. Alan, it's great to talk to you for the Cup of Culture today. We have literally just finished up your meditation. It was a healing meditation today. It was fantastic. I'm so spaced out now. It's the string is together. But it's testament to a lovely session and a really nice group. And I know there's maybe people out there who'd say, oh, it's not the same, it's Zoom and it's different and everything. But actually, you can still sort of feel the group dynamic even in the ethers. I think that's a particularly nice thing about it. This day is part of a 10-day challenge, in inverted commas, that you've come up with for our Connect, Create and Inspire, which is a month of a celebration of the importance of creativity to our health and well-being and life in general. And Alan, you've a background in fine arts, same as myself. So what's your take on the whole idea of creativity and how important it is to nourish that side of yourself?
Yeah, thanks, Emer. I suppose, I have a background in fine art, but for me, creativity goes beyond just making art. I mean, it's part of all life, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I suppose, again, for myself, at one stage, making art or painting was almost like therapy for me. There was always this need to express something, and at the time, that seemed to be the only way that I could express. And it's really powerful way to express. And for times when either we can't speak out or we don't have anyone to meet or talk to, it can be really, really beneficial to get something out of, whether you're writing poetry, whether you're just scribbling a few lines in your journal, whether it's drawing, painting, whatever it is. It's really, really helpful and healing to get that stuff out of your head and get it out somewhere of yourself,
Conversation that I had earlier on this morning with somebody, we were talking about sort of art as a therapy and stuff like that. And we both kind of felt that because we had been through the art education system, that we were almost a little bit challenged, because there's that whole judgment thing of, good, bad, worthy or unworthy, that sometimes art therapy for people who do art on either professional or semi-professional level, I think they often find it a bit more difficult because they can't get past that sort of judgment thing, even of themselves, that other people who've no experience, they've got no preconceptions of what they should do, their expectations of themselves aren't overwhelming. I think that can make a little bit of a block sometimes. I'd love to know some ways of breaking through that judgment thing that you do to yourself when you've been through the system of being graded for your artwork.
Yeah. It is. It for me, again, it extends beyond art. It's in all life, isn't it? And I suppose especially going back to the art world, definitely we as artists, we're we're delicate souls, we're sensitive souls, and it's hard. It really is difficult to get past that judgment thing. But oftentimes, I think it's ourselves that that are our hardest critics.
That's quite true.
And that feeling of I should be doing something, or especially in these times, contradicting myself now with saying that, that it's really good to get stuff out. But, we put that expectation ourselves sometimes that we really should be doing something, especially at the moment when a lot of people seem to be learning new skills and
taking up running and all these kind of things.
Yeah. And that can be really frustrating and even depressing, I suppose. And it's easy to slip into that rut. It's difficult to get out of. But going a bit deeper, I suppose sometimes that can seem to be about the external circumstances, whereas really it's an internal thing, isn't it? In some ways, things are not as we expected them to be, perhaps. And people like Alan Watt, the great philosopher and spiritual writer and stuff, he often spoke of suffering. It's kind of part of Buddhism, really, that suffering or unsatisfactoriness with life often comes down to our assumptions of how life is supposed to be, or how art is supposed to be, if we want to put that picture on it, And as we know, I suppose, as we all know, inspiration and creativity can't be forced.
Yeah.
It's often about spontaneity. It's often when we stop forcing it, I suppose, that when we say, okay, this is how it is at the moment. And in this moment, I'm okay with this. So, and then things change. Well, in my experience, anyway, I think things change. It's kind of people talking about it being surrender or one of those things, but I don't know. I don't think surrender is a very good word for it, because it's kind of a defeatist word almost. It's kind of a giving in, but it's not. I don't think. I think it's just
maybe
allowing. Yeah, it's just being okay with it in this moment.
Yeah.
It's not saying that this is how it's going to be forever. It's just being okay in this moment.
Yeah.
I think for me that acceptance or that allowing, as you say, is what helps me just to be.
I think just go easy on ourselves. Like anytime anyone says anything to me, just go easy on yourself, because
especially now. And I know it's kind of a cliche, go with the flow or whatever, but it's really it's become obvious to me the importance of it during this whole thing.
Absolutely. No control really over any of the big external stuff.
That's it. And it's that allowing, again, I mean, that's the perfect word. It's that just allowing things to be, allowing yourself to be. Sure, we can look forward and we can have aspiration. There's nothing wrong with that, absolutely. But the striving and the pushing and the forcing will only create sort of a narrow vision, which, blocks us in.
And then I suppose by turn, then that'll just increase your disenchantment, because if you don't get to that thing that you felt was so important, then you start to feel like, oh, I failed, I didn't do it.
That's it. And then you're back in that cyclical way, back to that frustration, back into that depression, back into that rut,
As an aside question now, are you pursuing your artwork all the time? Is it something that you do as a practice, or are you more consumed with your other work now, because you do have a lot going on?
At the moment, to be honest, it has been other stuff. So I suppose my creative expression has turned more to writing. I'm doing a course at the moment, so there's a lot of writing involved in that course. Yeah. So I'm finding myself able to, less of the need to paint, because that would be my practice, is painting. So I feel my creativity is being expressed in other ways, which is great, because it was something that, again, I would have been sort of, I'm a painter, I paint, and, there's that forcing myself to paint, if I have something to say, but I'm finding other ways to express myself. And I suppose this whole lockdown thing has allowed me the time to explore those things and to work a bit more. I suppose I have my own sort of spiritual practice, I suppose, which sustains me a lot, and I know not everybody is into that, but, I have my half hour that I set aside every morning. And I do my bit of practice, a bit of meditation and whatever else that entails. And for me personally, that really sustains me.
I think that creativity is such a broad thing, like you said, and a way of living, that I suppose all the little sort of fibers of the different aspects of what you do all feed each other. So rather than one particular thing that you do to be creative, it's a mindset.
Yeah, I mean, there's often talk about life, as just going to bring this back to, because I remember a quote from somebody about a spiritual life and regular life, and as if people seeing them as if they're different, and the same like with creative life and ordinary life. there's no difference. It's all, as you say, it's all interlinked and interchanged, and everything around us feeds our creativity, feeds our spirituality, feeds us.
Yeah.
You know, and it's only when we try to separate those things that a problem arises.
Yeah.
I don't see any division between any of those things. I try and I know I'm lucky or blessed or whatever word you want to put in it, that my work allows me that sort of time to meander around and wander and look up at the sky or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
And where I live out in the country, I mean, I'm surrounded by beauty. You know, that's inspirational, I suppose, is the word for it.
Yeah.
So when I'm out and about doing my job, you know, and there might be mundane jobs or whatever, you know, there's still this awe every now and again. When you just look up from the job and everything is fed in. Everything feeds into everything else, and everything encourages everything else.
I think that notion of, is it Eckhart Tolle, the in the moment, what's the name of the book? I can't even remember.
Yeah, the Power of Now, or one of those, is it?
Yeah, but like actually in the moment, even if it's just standing by the sink washing the dishes, but like you're looking out the window while you're doing it, and you're sort of just noticing what's around you and stuff like that. I think that's kind of powerful
That's it.
It's just to remember to do it. Just remind yourself.
That's it. And you know, this 10 days is about meditation. It's about, I mean, our first few days we're working on guided meditation, but you know, for the next few days, or certainly like in 5 days anyway, we'll be working on our own practice, which is exactly what you spoke about there. It's about finding ways to bring us back, and really ultimately that's what meditation is, regardless of whatever form of meditation you practice, Eastern, Western, whatever. It's finding something that when you notice that you're not doing, let's say watching the breath, for instance, if you're not doing that moment when you realize that you're thinking about whether you'll put pineapple on the pizza tonight or not, it's that moment.
Yeah.
It's not even the coming back. It's that moment of acknowledging and being aware that you're thinking.
Yeah.
And you're not watching your breath, or you're not doing your mantra, or you're not noticing the beauty, whatever it is, you know.
I think that's even okay, is it? Because I know even just during your one there now, I did have one moment where I had one of those sort of thoughts about something that I have to do later on. But I kind of just went, that's okay. Just let that go now. That's where we were. And it just came and it went. And now I've forgotten what it was.
Yeah, but that's wonderful. I mean, that is exactly it. You know, people use metaphors like meditation is the sky and the thoughts are clouds, you know, or meditation is the weather and you know, whatever, the thoughts are just clouds. But it really is that, and that's, I suppose, why we kind of began these few days with a guided meditation, so that people could get into the sense of having that focus.
It's lovely, actually. I'm joining in myself. I'm finding that. And I really like the idea that you're going to be working on sort of trying to develop a personal practice in the next few days, because I like everybody, that's something I kind of have trouble just kind of getting into a solid habit of. I just don't, you know, I forget about it.
Yeah.
It's to have to bring you into even this lovely 10 days, to bring you into this space at the same time every day. It starts the development of the habit. So who knows, maybe we can keep it going.
Absolutely. Hopefully.
So I'm just going to say thanks a million. I'll see you for meditation tomorrow, and thanks for talking to me today. And people can go to any of our social media channels. They can have a look at our website to find the links to book for the 10-day creative meditation. And it's a drop-in thing as well, so people don't need to commit to the entire 10 days, but it would be lovely.
Great stuff. Thanks very much, Emer.
And that's it for this week's episode. Don't forget to check out the programme for our Connect, Create and Inspire, which still has a 2 weeks worth of events left for you to check out. If you'd like to get in touch with the podcast, the email address is souththipartspodcast@gmail.com. That's souththipartspodcast@gmail.com. Talk to you all again next time.